Hello, beautifuls. If I asked you to tell me what your value was, what is your worth, and I don't mean your portfolio, your position, or your possessions, I mean you as a being, what is your value or your worth? Well, that might be a difficult question for many people to answer, and that is because in society, we have established a system in which to determine value. And in this system, we have placed a value on things, events, and places. And that mental concept has kept us feeling small because we have embraced the idea that our being also needs to have a value that can be measured. And as in society, we measure it with our intellect, our status, our wealth, and so on. And all of these things are ephemeral. They're changing, they're fleeting, and we can never establish a secure value using those things. You are enough simply because you exist. And I want to use two of the major world beliefs in order to show that to you. Number one of the beliefs is that this life is all there is. When this physical body dies, that your life ends. There is nothing beyond that, and that we return to dust. Now, if that is your belief, and if that is truth, then there is no way that we need to try to establish an external value for us while we live here in this physical vessel. The second belief is that life is eternal, and that when our physical body dies, that an aspect of us, be that our spirit, our energy, continues on in another dimension, space, place, or time. And if that is the case, again, there is no need for us to try to establish an external value for our being. Now, I know that this concept is different than most people have held, and it might actually even be uncomfortable. And that is because our ego has taught us that we can establish our value with the things we think, the things we wish, the things we create and we own. Our ego is continually praising or judging itself in order to establish a value. And this is always the tendency of humankind until they do the work of deep introspection and they connect to that deeper aspect of their being that is beyond the definitions of ego. We judge ourselves daily, and in this place we do so because we are trying to establish praise or approval from the ego. And every time we judge ourselves, we are denying or rejecting an aspect of ourselves. And if we truly valued our being, there is no way we could reject parts of us. When we accept the idea that our value can be measured by the external, we keep ourselves trapped in the dark and feeling small and valueless and separated from the self. The ego is not an evil thing. The ego essentially is a belief system in which we comprehend who and what we are. It's our identification system. And it only becomes problematic when we allow the ego-directed or lower mind define who we are. And that ego mind wants to assign a value to us based on the external. In order to quiet the ego mind, we need to connect to our heart center, our higher self, our higher mind. And to do this will require stillness and that work of introspection. And in that place, we will connect with the forgotten aspects, neglected aspects, rejected aspects of ourselves. And it is only in this place that we intrinsically will know our value. It is not anything that can be measured or understood. It becomes a cellular experience. We realize that it has always been there, and it doesn't matter what belief we tried to hide behind, that our value exists even if we fail to recognize it. Yet when we step into that place and we remember our value, our life experiences are so enriched. Our relationships, everything about our journey becomes better. So the invitation today is for each and every one of us to look at ourselves and look at the places in which we might be trying to determine our value based on externals. Thank you so much for listening to this perspective, and until we speak again, please be well.